Okay, welcome everybody to this concert. Music for the people. Tonight you'll hear the ensemble KNM Berlin and the KNM Campus Ensemble. They'll play a piece by Jessie Marino and a piece by Eliav Brandt and a new piece by Ana Maria Rodriguez. My name is Leonie Reineke, and here with me are two of the composers and Rebecca Lenton, a member of the ensemble KNM Berlin and the director of KNM Campus Ensemble. Rebecca, could you briefly tell us what is the KNM Campus Ensemble and for how long is it running?
Yes, the Campus Ensemble has been running for 10 years, so this in fact is our sort of 10-year Jubilee concert. So it's great to be here with so many people. And so yes, we started in 2011 after a KNM Berlin project. We played a piece by Sharino with lots of amateur players. So we part of the project was getting lots of flute players and saxophone players together. And after that, there was a question. We had such fun. We did workshops, and they joined in the concerts. And some people wanted to carry on, so we founded an amateur ensemble for new music.
And now it's a regularly running thing?
Yes, very much so. We meet once a week, so every week on Monday evenings. And yeah, we have some very dedicated players who really come every week, and we make music together.
And what type of repertoire do you play?
It's very varied. We've had pieces written for us, so notated pieces, and we've tried, especially during the lockdown when we rehearsed, we didn't miss a rehearsal, we rehearsed online, and then we tried out a lot of text scores, so that's then without written notation, without notes, but indications of what to play through words. We also did several graphic scores, so we've tried out lots of different things. And every now and again, we create our own pieces. So through visual things like photographs or sketches or sometimes text, using a theme or a place as a starting point, then we do group compositions.
And you also collaborate with the Coma network, right? Could you tell us what is it? I think a few people...
Yes, we have a lot of people from Coma, Contemporary Music for All, with us tonight. So welcome to all of you. Most people have travelled over from Great Britain and the Netherlands today. So welcome, lovely to have you here. And we've become partner ensembles, or Coma is a large institution now, really, of, I'm not quite sure, about 30 small ensembles in Great Britain and beyond. And so that's Contemporary Music for All, and they've been running, correct me if I'm wrong, must be nearly 30 years now, over 25 years. And they do similar things, there's slightly different setup, but a group of lots of groups, really, of musicians making music, interested in contemporary music. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So, Jessie, your piece is called "The Whale is a Capital Fish," and it's from 2016. It's for 5 performers, video and electronics. And a significant aspect of this piece is language or speech, right? Could you tell us something about that?
Yeah. So this piece is all about different ways of lying and never being sure of whether or not the person who is saying the things is saying it from a personal standpoint or from a character standpoint. To be honest, sometimes you make a piece just because you have a very strange idea in your mind. And actually, this piece, it's all about what the last little moment. I had this idea that I really wanted to create a flying whale. And sometimes you have to make a piece just to give yourself an excuse to really try something that came out of a very bizarre part of your mind. So the sort of lead up to this is all kind of part of a strange linguistic aesthetic that I've been learning and working with. But it all kind of leads up to this moment where this flying fish appears. And I still haven't quite found the perfect format, but I walked for about an hour and a half to get here just to think. And I think I found a really good idea. So, we should talk about it afterwards.
And what do the performers have to do? Because you don't call them players or instrumentalists.
No.
Performers, right?
Yeah. There is quite a theatrical standpoint that the performers must embody, because while a lot of the material inside of this piece is musically directed in that it has pretty strict and coordinated rhythms, which would be very difficult for an actor or a performance artist to do, there is still quite an embodiment of the language itself and taking on these different roles of disguising whether or not the thing that they're saying is true. So that's why I decided to call them performers rather than musicians, or I guess players would be also fine.
And the video and the electronics?
Yeah.
If it's all right to ask you about that, because...
I'll be honest. 5 years was it written ago? 5 years? A lot has changed. And I think the electronics and the video were things at that time that I was quite interested in. So collecting sort of everyday symbolisms from very, very, very rudimentary, like internet searches. And I don't really remember a lot about it. I know that there's Morse code at the end.
Okay, so it will be an exciting performance for you too tonight.
Yes, yeah. Look, I've lost a lot of my grasp on space and time in the last couple of years. Maybe people can relate to that. So, yeah, and also it's quite nice. This is not a piece that gets performed a whole lot, so it's also really nice to come back with kind of fresh eyes and fresh ears to something that you thought and cared about deeply in a moment in your past. So it's sort of a nice way to re-experience that.
Okay, thank you. And Eliav, your piece is from 2020, and actually it was premiered at the Klangwerkstatt last year, but without an audience, and later it was streamed online, and it's called Music for, in parentheses, absolutely all the people, and it's written particularly for amateur musicians. What do you mean by absolutely all the people, in contrast to which type of music that isn't for all?
I think what I thought about is, because the piece is about this type of absolute thinking, I thought about, it's of course in an ironic way. It's impossible to think about the whole world for me, and I don't see how anyone can do it without being really with some type of a power trip or something like this. So the idea is for absolutely all the people. This was one way to look at it. And I chose the materials that relate to it. Beethoven the Ninth, I mentioned the Buddha, or John Lennon, I imagined all the people. And I look at it in a way, in a critical way, I would say, and try maybe a little bit to laugh about us with it. And on the other hand, the piece really started simply when we talked with Rebecca about making a piece, and I thought, okay, this is going to be a mixture of the musicians of KNM, which I worked several times with, and new people, the amateur group, and I thought it was completely not specific who is going to play, which instrument, so I could not be specific at all. So the other side of it was, oh, it's music for absolutely everyone who wants to join, if it's 40 people, 50 people, or just 8 or 6.
And if you couldn't be that specific, what type of material or musical elements did you choose to work with or to compose with?
Yeah, so started to get to it a little bit. So I worked on one hand with these musical hymns, big celebration of the whole world is one. The world will be as one. We come together. This type of wishful thoughts. One can look at it on one hand. And then I remembered also a very good friend of mine, since many years, Untitled Chapter, and he wrote about it, and he made once a lecture also where he played this song of John Lennon at the end, and talked about what is in what price this world comes as one. And so for that I chose all these materials that come to see these musical materials, and there are also like big stadium crowds, and also discussions with him that are recorded, and then what he says comes into the piece in certain points.
All right, then thank you all very much, and we're excited what's gonna happen now. Thank you.